Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Real Kindness Games. Pew 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 pew.
That's
So
awesome.
much fun. My name is Keikashan, and that is.
I'm Tim.
And today we're just, like every day, having Real Kindness Games conversations because the Real Kindness Games is about shedding light on our personal biases and encouraging kindness by modeling curiosity in our conversations. It's so that we can appreciate another human for their unique perspective and experiences to help heal our communities together. As humans, we have a lot more in common than what divides us, as long as we're okay with it,
Absolutely.
right? All right, Tim, we took a lunch break. What'd you have for lunch?
Was that a fat joke? What, you assume that I eat lunch because I'm overweight? Like, I had rice cakes, thank you. What'd you have for lunch?
Geez, offended much?
No. Why?
I, 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 I feel attacked.
Oh, my bad.
I am offended. I am offended by your offensiveness.
Well, it's probably I'm hangry because I've been eating rice cakes because I'm fat.
Tim, are you fat shaming yourself?
You're fat shaming me. It's pissing me off.
Don't be putting words in my mouth, Tim. Don't you dare.
Friendship over. So why are we all getting angry and insulted? Like I can be like, hey, where's your family from? And you're like, I'm a US citizen. What? I'm like, okay, but my family's from Germany, like 300 years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed people take a whole lot of offense to like the smallest thing. I actually have a family member who who gets offended over everything. Like I think like in high school, I may have used the word, we were young. I may have used the word like, "Oh my God, you're so retarded," like you're so dumb or whatever. And she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you use that word. I am offended." And I was like, why are you offended? Like that's just not the best way to have conversations. It's like I think if someone says something about something that is like that you feel deeply about, instead of being just offended and immediately just stopping that conversation, going, okay, I can't hang out with you, maybe take a step back and be like, well, what did you mean by that?
Hey,
What do you think, Tim?
can I have an opinion?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead, Tim.
So unsafe right now. Hey, I think people that are always insulted or offended, I think they rely on this as a defense mechanism to not have conversations because they actually have a certain amount or maybe a large amount of insecurity about their path, their life, decisions they've made, or just they don't understand or they don't know that they understand their foundational sets of beliefs. Do you agree with that? Is that something that rings true for you?
Yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of times when you become just so offended or you become insulted by someone's opinion, you almost end up giving your power to them, right? You just become so emotionally insecure and like especially within.
You're reading my notes in the Google Doc, bro. Like you're taking I only have so many good points. Stop stealing them. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Um, when we get angry, we actually relinquish power over our
Yep,
faculties. When we lose our emotions, we actually are not literally not in control of who we are at that
yep,
moment, which means we're giving it to whoever is instigating us, whether they even mean to instigate us or not. So, how do we get
absolutely.
past this craziness?
Honestly, my strategy has always been to take a step back and try to understand their opinion, right? Like why are you being offended? Is your is your offensive thought something that is valid? Are you being offended by what I'm saying or are you being offended by something else? Or are you even offended, or are you just trying to get out of a specific conversation? Because
Or are
sometimes
you
it feels like, go ahead.
are you feigning offense?
Oh, that one's the worst. I have experienced that, and that one is absolutely the worst because they know the point that you're making is valid. They know that the point that they have, maybe not the best point, but they will fence a fence because they're just like, well, if I immediately just get angry and I say, well, you've insulted me, that you'll just move on from the conversation because people are uncomfortable with conflict. I'm
Is it
uncomfortable with conflict.
Yeah, people are uncomfortable with conflict, and I think people use that as like um kind of like a first strike thing, like, oh, I am out of my mental depth. I think this is largely a nasty byproduct of that age of information we talked about. If
Yep.
I don't feel like I can have a well-reasoned opinion, if I don't feel like I can hold a conversation, but I am anchored to this viewpoint. Or some people are very opportunistic with it. I find it hilarious that you can watch the news, you can watch TV, and somebody will talk about a group of people or an idea or something, and somebody will be like, I'm offended by that. And you're like, are you with that group of people? Are you of that like idea? No.
Yeah.
It's like, stop taking offense for people that you're not part of, or
Hmm.
ideas or groups that you're not part of. Like, it's ridiculous. I
And
actually, oh, go ahead.
so one thing that I've noticed is we as a society right now are very divided. Like we as a people just get so offended, and I do sometimes blame the age of information on it because there's so much information out there. There's so many groups that you can join. And the whole idea is that if you're in my group and you and I are in the same team, well, we should have the same thought process. And if that person in group X has a different opinion, well, if I'm offended, you better be offended with me. Like we are
Oh
gonna
my
be
gosh.
offended together and that's gonna be a mob. And I just don't understand that mentality at all because my opinion and your opinion, we may have, similar opinions in some things, but there are plenty of things where we have different opinions, but that should not offend someone else who has the same opinion as you.
You know what? In 3 to 5 sentences, you just summed up all of the real kindness games we've done. The big miss, talking about our biases and groupthink, the dangerous ideal of tolerance, how tolerance isn't actually like an aspirational goal to get to. We can't be friends if I just tolerate you.
Yep.
It's a tool, but it's not that great of an idea. 3, false choices. If you're, then you must.
Hmm.
Um, Leading into the victim mentality. And all of this culminates and starts to degrade through this age of information because to be smart, and I know in Silicon Valley, that's a big thing. Like, our currency is how intelligent we are. I actually take the other way. Like, I'm the dumbest person I know. And I tell everybody I meet, you're going to love working with me because you're always going to have the best ideas. I rely on you to have the best ideas because I am not smart. But no, if you're not well read, if you don't have an opinion or you don't know about everything, then you're not intelligent. That is a false choice. And that leads to insult and offense. NPR is out. Keishan, you want to do it?
Let's do it. Let's do it. So the whole idea around the real kindness games, when Tim and I sat down, we're like, all right, we need to have conversations about how to have these real conversations. Insult and offense was like a huge one because especially at the time, we as a nation were so divided. I mean, I think we're still divided, but like we were so divided. I remember people around me just getting insulted and offended over the smallest things. And really, it's about understanding. It's about understanding someone's opinion and understanding their thought process and where they're coming from and leaving your ego at the door. Your ego has no place here. We as a society have to come together to understand what exactly it is that we're trying to achieve. What are we trying to do? Let's come together. Let's remove our biases. Let's have an awareness of what biases that we have and really start to have curious and kind conversations. And We don't need your insults here. Get out of here. We can't be
Get
insulted.
out. Actually, I'm not going to give you this false choice, but if you know me, you already know this is true, but I'm just putting it out there for the world because I actually don't care at all anymore. I don't recognize your right to be offended or insulted. Like, I don't care. Let's have the conversation. I don't go around. I do try to be kind. I don't try to offend anybody. However, I'm freaking hilarious. I'm a pretty amazing person.
You are. I'll give you that.
And sometimes I step over the line. And if I do actually insult you, like, let me know. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about why I insulted you so that I can learn to be better around you. Because what's insulting to you is probably not insulting to a lot of other people, right? And
Agreed.
that's actually, this is killing comedy, which is unfortunate. Like,
Yes.
the world will soon, in 5 years, Nostradamus Tim will no longer be fun if this shit goes on. So I do not recognize your right to be insulted. I don't know if you want to take that opinion, Kekashan. I won't put that on you, but that's just where I'm at. Talk about
Look,
it. Don't get mad.
I will say this. There are times that it is okay to be insulted, right? There will be moments, but take that moment, be insulted momentarily, and then move on. Figure out, tell that person why you were insulted, what insulted you, and how they can fix it. If you're going to tell someone that you were insulted, tell them what they can do to fix it instead of just saying, I'm insulted, and then move on, because that is not constructive at all. You are literally just saying that I was insulted and there's nothing that you can do to fix that.
I have been married for 16 years, so I know never to ask a woman about something that may reveal her age. So I'm just going to do this myself. I've been out of high school for 20 years. I grew up. You should grow up too. The real kindness game.